Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Chen Yang here, and I hope you're doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you why you're actually going to lose more fat and keep it off by eating more carbs, okay? So if you're new here, I'm an online female fitness coach. We work with women all over the world to transform their body, their mind, confidence, and lifestyle in a sustainable way. So really preaching that balance, fitting fitness into your life, not your life into fitness. And if you've been wondering, how the hell do you lose fat by eating more carbs and more of the foods you love with actually less restriction? Keep watching. So the biggest challenge that people face in their fat loss is their diet. How many of you think you need to cut out carbs when you're trying to lose fat? So it's the bread, the pasta, the pastries, the rice, the noodles. Those things have to go because you're now trying to lose body fat. Look, we've all been there, right? We start associating certain foods as bad foods and we start avoiding them. We literally think, oh, bread equals fat, which is not the case. Now, the thing is, when you first start restricting these foods, yeah, you're going to see yourself lose body fat and you're going to see the weight come down. And that almost, gives you that kick of motivation because you're like, yes, I'm losing body fat, it's working, it was the bread, it was the rice and the carbs. That's not the case. The only reason why you start losing weight is because you're just simply in a calorie deficit. You have pretty much restricted whole food groups, so naturally you're going to be eating less, and that is why you are dropping weight. However, that is not sustainable. So if this is relatable and you're like, yep, I've definitely done that, make sure you keep watching because I'm gonna tell you now exactly why you need to start eating more carbs to lose fat and to actually keep it off. So firstly, carbs are your body's primary source of energy. Now, when you're low in energy because you've cut out all your carbs and all the good foods to fuel your workouts, to fuel your daily activities, you're naturally going to be actually moving less, fidgeting less, and burning less calories on a daily basis just from non-exercise activities. Now, when you start eating more carbs, and this is what we see with all our clients when we reverse diet them, when they actually start eating more carbs, they naturally have more energy, they're fidgeting more, they're moving more, they're performing better in their workouts, and therefore they are actually expending more energy, and naturally that actually puts them in a deficit which they could not actually sustain when they were so low on carbs, when they were restricting because of other things that come into the picture, which I'm going to touch on as well. The more you restrict, the more likely you're going to binge, right? So this comes back to when I was saying there's other things in the picture which make it really hard for someone to actually sustain fat loss when they're restricting a primary food group, carbohydrates. Now, one binge in the weekend could set you back 1,000 calories, 2,000 calories, depending on how much you're having. That is very easily going to take you out of the deficit that you put yourself in during the week, okay? And not only is that going to obviously affect your fat loss progress, but mentally it really does not put you in a very good position around food. So many of you guys go through a really poor relationship with food once you start dieting, once you start thinking about calories and you start viewing food as just calories in and out, exercise as calories in and out. That is when you then fall into this very toxic cycle, that binge and restrict cycle, which is what we don't want because again, it is not sustainable and you're not going to actually lose fat and keep it off, which is the goal. You don't want to be just like losing fat, you actually want to keep it off, or else you're going to live your whole life gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight. Now, if you start increasing your carb intake across the week, what's going to happen is you're going to remove those cravings, you're going to remove the tendency to binge every time you have a carbohydrate, every time you sniff a carb, you're going to remove that tendency to want to overeat because you know that the food is always going to be there. You've had rice throughout the week, it's not something you're going to crave. You've had noodles, you've had bread during the week, it's not going to be something that you are going to overindulge in when the weekend comes, when Friday comes and your cheat meal comes. So this is why eating more carbs is actually going to help you lose fat and to keep it off in the long run. Now, obviously the best way to lose fat, and if you're looking for something that's actually sustainable and something that fits into your life, is again just eating in a very balanced way. You're not cutting out any carbohydrates, any fats, any proteins. You're not cutting out specific snacks, foods that you've deemed as bad for you, but in fact you're eating an 80-20 balance. This is exactly what we do with our clients, and they just see their weight dropping steadily whilst being able to go out with their friends and still live a very balanced life. That's really important. So make sure that if you are on a fat loss journey this year and you're really trying to make it a success and that you don't repeat those cycles that you've probably been through in the last few years, number one, stop falling for fad diets. Number two, stop cutting out carbs please stop cutting out certain foods in general. Start eating it in a more balanced way. Just make sure that you are in a calorie deficit overall, but make sure that in that deficit, you're still having the foods that you love. Now, we cover all of this in a personalized plan for all our coaching clients. So if that's something you're looking for, if you just want the plan that's exactly catered for you, you know exactly what you're doing and it's all correct and there for you with extra accountability and support, make sure you give me a message of coaching over on my Instagram, and then we can see if we're a good fit and whether we could help you this year. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments below what stood out to you. Give me a like, subscribe if you're new here, because in the next video, we're going to be talking about how to actually fix your metabolism. And this is especially important if you are someone who has been dieting and restricting and been yo-yoing your whole life. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.